Hi everyone, Grant K for the Smoke Learning channel. In this video, I'll go through the workflow of opening and restoring a smoke archive in Flame 2017. This is a one-way workflow that allows you to promote any smoke projects into the Flame 2017 products for further finishing. We'll start off by creating an archive in Smoke, and then restoring it into Flame 2017. This workflow is not footage specific, so you can use your own media to follow along. Starting in Smoke, I have a project containing my clips and sequences in the library. To create an archive, you switch to the Media Hub and select the Archives option in the file browser. Next, navigate to a folder where you want to save the archive. Please ensure you have permissions to write at this location. In the archive menus, click New Archive. In the pop-up menu, you would give your archive a name and set the maximum file size per archive segment. When you click Create, Smoke creates the empty archive and opens it. Now at this point, you can choose to archive a selection or the entire project. To archive a selection, drag what you need into the archive window. Any deposited clips will be listed as pending. You can keep adding to your selection until you have everything you want. The estimated size of the archive will be displayed under the archive size header. Now, in both the case of the selection archive and project archives, set your archive settings in the menus before writing anything into the archive. This can affect the source media and render files when creating the archive segments. Now, if you press Archive, the pending clips will be written to the archive. This is known as a selection archive. However, if you want to archive the entire project, the process is even faster than dragging clips. Just clear any pending entries. When the archive is initially created with nothing inside, you will see the Archive Project button is active. As I mentioned with the selection archive, set up the archive settings prior to creating the archive. The other piece of advice I can give you is to tidy up your project as well as consolidate it beforehand to ensure you have just what you need. This will help reduce the archive file size. Now, once you're ready to archive the project, you click the Archive Project button. Smoke will tell you the estimated size of the project archive and if you have enough space available. If you're happy with that, confirm the message and let Smoke do the rest. With the archive complete, you can expand the Archive Session folder and verify the archive is correct. You can even click the Update button to check the current size of the project archive. Now click the Close Archive button to exit the archive. So if this was another Smoke system, you could restore the project or a selection of a project and carry on as before. But I want to restore this in Flame. So if necessary, move the archive files to make them accessible to the Flame products. So now I'm in Flame 2017, and this could be either a Mac-based or Linux-based Flame. Once again, I'll go to the Media Hub and choose the Archives option. Navigate to the location of the archive. Double-clicking on the Smoke archive will open it in Flame. Now you can restore a selection into the active Flame project. However, I want to restore the entire Smoke project in Flame. So firstly, as a general archive rule, you must not have an existing project with the same name as the project archive. When restoring a project archive, everything, including the original name of the project, will be restored. Now ensure the session folder is expanded. At this moment, the buttons at the bottom of the archive menu still say Archive. To restore a project archive, you need to select the project level inside the session folder. With this item selected, the Restore Project button will appear in place of Archive Project. Click Restore Project, and Flame will create the project and start restoring the project back to its original state. Once that is complete, close the archive. Call up the project and user settings. and choose the restored project in the pull-down menu. Click Load and Flame will switch over to the restored project. You can now go through the clips and sequences and validate that everything is there. This is now considered as a Flame project, and you can use all the features, functionalities, and workflows that the Flame 2017 products have to offer. If you create another archive of this project, it will be considered as a Flame archive, which is not compatible with Smoke. Finally, I'll reiterate that this is a one-way trip from Smoke to Flame to access Flame's creative toolset for further finishing. Comments, feedback, and suggestions are always welcome and appreciated. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the Smoke Learning channel for future videos.